Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's reading. I'm not gonna lie, I already started this reading and I got cut off by a medication alarm. So I'm a little annoyed about that, but that's fine because we're just gonna do it again. Take that, universe. but so yes, hello, welcome. We're doing a collective reading, and as you can see, my filming is a little bit different today. I have been trying to kind of switch up both my reading style and my filming style, so please feel free to let me know what you guys like seeing, what resonates with you. I do believe in making content that I feel good about, but I also want to include you guys in the process. Your feedback is very important to me. So I'm going to have to go through the channeled information again. And again, I already started this, so I have pulled cards already. But this is going to be a collective reading for those who are in separation with a loved one. I am picking up kind of a heavier romantic influence, so it certainly does not have to be. This is not totally dissimilar from the message that the last collective message I put out, which was like within the last week. So they might be connected. They don't have to be. So if you stumble on this one, you might want to go check that out. If you've seen that one, this one might particularly resonate. But there's something where the person that you are separated from is, I'm almost getting like having a reckoning. They are issuing an apology. And this is issuing an apology to the universe. This might be kind of a preamble to the apology that they will be issuing to you. I feel like they are issuing an apology to the universe right now. Some of them are aware that they would like to prepare to come apologize to you. Some of them don't know that yet at a conscious level, but like by issuing this apology to the universe, and I'll explain what I mean in a moment, it will ignite this desire to have offer reconciliation to you. So when I say issuing an apology to the universe, I feel like this person is getting very, very clear on some aspect of their behavioral pattern. And it's kind of like they're having to really face the truth of the negative impacts that their actions have. There's a sense here where this person might struggle a lot with shame wounds, and as a result, instead of, because nobody wants to feel shame all the time, right? Nobody wants to feel like everything they do is wrong and everything that goes wrong in their life is their fault. So this person might have a lot of shame wounds, and instead of, to avoid having to sit in those unpleasant feelings, this person might have a proclivity, a predilection to almost write off anything that goes wrong in relationships as something having to do with the other person, possibly the circumstances, but it's kind of like that's kind of how they sort of I'm hearing bag it and tag it. It's like this energy when they're wrapping up a relationship, right? When they're processing, when they're going through a breakup, or as they detach from somebody, that's kind of how they sort of do their closure wrap up, right? They're kind of looking at everything. I think this person gets very focused on how they're going to regroup, how they're going to get those needs they were getting met from their, somebody they were involved with. They look at how they're going to get those needs met in a different way. Excuse me. But then they kind of move on. They're like, it wasn't meant to be. Like that, I don't know why I'm hearing that's their favorite phrase. There's a sense of like, it wasn't meant to be. It would have been great, but, there's this in the way. Like, I like, there's a lot of potential there, but these are big issues, and I can't make them change, and, they shouldn't ask me to change, so we'll just leave it where it is. That's kind of their attitude in general, historically. But there's something where they are looking at the patterns that they have engaged in, and they are doing deeper self-reflection, and this might be kind of newer for them. I feel like it's not that they don't think about other people. It's just, this is complicated. It's not they don't think about other people. It's just like, there's a level of self-reflection that they tend to avoid because, again, it makes them confront those shame wounds. And some of that self-reflection is about, they act nonchalantly about, things falling apart, things ending, separations. They act nonchalantly, so they assume the other person is probably equally, limitedly bothered. There's kind of like, and as such, it allows them to kind of, minimize the amount of pain or damage that their patterns might have the potential to incur. So that was kind of what I was getting. And then 3 cards came out. So I pulled some cards out of the Love Pack, the Chuck Spezzano deck. And we had commitment, This is card 12. That reduces to a 3. We had bad attitude at 64. That reduces to a 10. And we have intimacy at 34. That reduces to a 7. I almost said an 11. I can do math. So exactly what we were saying, this person is really reflecting on their difficulties with commitment. I'm getting with the number 12, first of all, to make me think of the Hanged Man in the tarot. So there is this huge shift in perspective, but it reduces down to a 3. They might have a very hard time being able to express what it is they really are looking for. They might have a hard time getting clear on that historically. And there's a sense, again, because it's a lack of self-awareness at some level. There's also a lack of emotional self-attunement I'm picking up from this person historically. And that's kind of why they sort of start things and then it falls apart, and they're kind of, or they start things and it's like, oh wait, maybe this isn't what I want. And it's tough. Hang on. So there's a sense here where this person is reevaluating their understanding of commitment. We have the rainbow in the background. So that makes me think of the 10 of Cups. This person would like to be in a happy relationship, and they've had to stop and wonder why they are not getting what they want, what they feel in a certain way, what they feel they deserve. It's kind of like this energy of, I keep trying, I keep putting it out there. And we'll clarify all these with tarot in a moment. I keep trying, I keep putting it out there, but this keeps happening, or it keeps falling apart. I've tried my hardest, but this person, did X, Y, Z. And what they're really kind of coming to terms with bad attitude is that there's something about their perception and the way that they approach dealing with relationships. In this deck, this person's throwing all the hearts away. That has been at the core of their lack of relationship success, their struggles with intimacy and with growing closer with another. This is 64 that reduces to a 10. 10s are always the completion of a cycle, but they also reduce down to a 1, indicating that there is, there's a new cycle beginning. So what they're looking at is their issues with intimacy. And again, they run away from themselves. So of course it's harder for them to truly get close with another person. I do think that they want this. They might be very comfortable with certain aspects of intimacy, but when it comes to committing to intimacy long term, they have a problem with that. Notice how this card, it's in darkness. This card, the sun is out on both. And while the sun is very positive and very happy, the sun is also enlightenment. You're seeing things in broad daylight. So this person, and even here, they're under the shade, right? This person, I feel, has struggled with true intimacy, especially with 34 reducing down to a 7. It's true spiritual intimacy, spiritual knowing, like a deep bond. They struggle with that because I do think they want it, but there's a level where they have a hard time looking at themselves, so they don't want other people to look at them. And so it's like you get too close, it's that part, that natural part of a relationship where you have to really be investing more in each other, and in each other authentically. You have to be your real selves. That might be exactly where they struggle, because they have a hard time truly looking at themselves. I'm seeing somebody standing in front of a mirror and covering their eyes. They have a hard time looking at themselves because they're afraid of what's going to be looking back at them. There's a lot of shame with this person. And thus they have a hard time letting anybody else look at them, because their deep-seated belief is, I'm unworthy, I am shameful, I don't even want to look at my real self. I don't even really want to see what's there. Why would anybody else, right? Some part of them believes that if they are authentic and they're vulnerable, they're real, they show up as their true selves, that is going to be the exact thing that triggers the destruction of a relationship. And I think the thing that is happening with them is that it's kind of like, if I'm not real with them and we kind of stay surface level, or they only get little bits and pieces, then if I get rejected, it's not me who's truly getting rejected. It's this partial fantasy or partial image of me. And that's these are some of the things they're unpacking. So they're apologizing to the universe for potentially who they've hurt or how they've behaved. They're also, I feel on the verge of some very powerful self-attunement. So let's start clarifying. Hey, and the Hanged Man, flipping itself out first with the Page of Swords reverse. Yep, this is what I mean. There's a shift in perspective because they're growing out of a childlike mentality. They might have this predilection with the Page of Swords where they're very curious about people. They're very enthusiastic. They're very, they'll be very enthusiastic communicators. They want to know more, right? They want to get to know you. They enjoy that part of it. They might be very social in some regards. But this is where they've had some immature thoughts about commitments, or it's not even quite immature. It's just it's old programming that they haven't grown out of that needs to be healed. And this is what they're gaining a shift in perspective about. Yep, the Emperor. Not surprised. And Death in reverse, because this person knows, this person's trying to get in their Emperor energy, regardless of gender identity or expression. This person knows. This person knows that if they want to do that, they have to be open to change, right? The Hanged Man always precedes the Death card, and it's because we get a shift in perspective, and that's usually what allows us to be 11:11 on the timer. That's usually what allows us to prepare ourselves to transform, right? Change is difficult. Transformation is antithetical to the human parts of us that don't are threatened by change. And so there's this understanding with the Hanged Man of, if I ever want to get out of this place, if I ever want to move forward, I have to be willing to let things change. I have to be willing to do things differently. And that's what this person is kind of reconciling with, is this sense of, if I ever want to let things change, if I ever want to, this can kind of be the energy of like a husband and father. Again, doesn't, gender non-specific here. But if I ever want to be, a true life partner, a true spouse, if I ever want to have a family, if I want to be a leader in my relationship, if I want to be somebody who, is upstanding, can make responsible choices, can be responsible for another person. If I ever want to be able to do that and to have that, I need to be open to letting things change. So this is what they're working with right now. And some of this is, with commitment, they're like, because again, I feel like this person might want something very traditional, but they have their own version of the 10 of Cups that involves, somebody to share happiness with, somebody to share their life with, somebody to share a home with, have a family with potentially. They really want that. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles, and it's going to require that they open up. It's going to require that they let go of certain things. They might have some outdated ideas about what partnership really means. And that might be what's being challenged right now. And so they're starting to be open to reevaluating what commitment looks like. I want to clarify bad attitude. What is this bad attitude, Spirit? What is this? What is their bad attitude about? Strength, yeah, their commitment. This is always where it's, the better parts of us. It's the Sacred Heart. It's where we dig down deep at an emotional level and we find those better qualities, our resiliency, our compassion, our patience, our forgiveness, our determination and our drive, especially at an emotional level. So there's something here of they might have had a really hard time with forgiveness. They might have had a hard time, again, with that intimacy, that commitment. It's facing their fears and being willing to let themselves grow at a very, very beautiful level despite those fears. So let's see what's going on. We also have we have Pisces, we have Leo, we have Scorpio, Aries, and some air energy showing up in case any of those resonate. Yep, the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. The Knight of Swords reversed. Interesting. And the Five of Wands. So this is clarifying bad attitude. We have more air and water here. Yeah, okay. So particularly strong Gemini and Aquarius, particularly strong Pisces. So this person's bad attitude is that they might have this battle between the head and the heart, and it means that they don't end up doing anything. With the Five of Wands, they might kind of be, this person's not super grounded when it comes to moving forward, right? The Knights they take action. The Knights also kind of take what they learned as pages and they go out and they apply it. So they learn by experience. That's sort of what they're doing. They're trying things on, right? And everybody has that sort of, that period of their life where they're knights. And that's why the knights usually tend to refer to the age range of about 18 to 30. Sorry, as soon as I said that, I was like, and for some, it's, you know, a little longer than that. So this person recognizes that there is some instability in their energy, that they're not super committed, that they might start things and then walk away. Again, there can be a battle between the head and the heart, and that's why they'll be back and forth, hot and cold. This is very much a hot and cold behavior kind of a thing. There's also this sense where, you know, the Knight of Cups in reverse can be somebody who's very dreamy. There's a lot of illusions, but there's a lack of consistency or clarity. Like there are aspects of self where they're like not super clear, I guess I'll say. They're not super based in reality. There we go. I was like, words. You know, I'm not a licensed mental or physical health professional, so nothing we talk about should ever be considered substitution for professional diagnosis, treatment, or advice. But I will say the Knight of Cups reverse for me can indicate somebody who struggles with a substance use problem or a drinking problem. This can also indicate somebody who's very much struggling with their mental health. So there could be an element where they might need some support when it comes to their mental health. And they go back and forth either within themselves, like, no, I don't, you know, maybe I should do something about this. No, I don't need any help. Like, I don't know. I don't think, like, I'm not feeling great lately. No, we don't need that. Like, we're not going to be the type of person that goes to therapy. They could be battling within themselves. They could also have outside influences making them feel shameful for what they actually need in order to heal. And this is something that they might be thinking about, because again, that we saw here, they're open to change. They recognize they need to transform in order to grow as a person. You know, a lot of major arcana right out the gate. So this is a pretty big turning point for them. You know, this person, something else I'm seeing, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords in reverse, and then the Five of Wands, this bad attitude they might have. This can be somebody who can kind of, at least in the past, be prone to being addicted to the chase and then not really doing much with it. This is somebody who's very back and forth within themselves, within their own energy. This is somebody too, we have the dagger tattooed on the Knight of Swords here. This is somebody who I feel like has, you know, almost like the sword is always the truth. They like wear their truth, right? It's almost like a tattoo on them. Like, no, this is what I believe. This is what I think. This is what I want. It's a part of their personality. But the Knight of Swords is wielding a different sword. So there's something that might be different between what they proclaim as like a part of their steadfast, you know, philosophy, belief system, you know, lifestyle, whatever it might be, versus what they're actually doing, what's actually true to them, or the truth and communication patterns that they actually utilize on a regular basis. So for example, this person could be like, I just tell it like it is. I'm super honest. You know, they could be like, if I like you, you'll know. If I don't, you'll know. But they might actually really struggle with communication and avoid certain like vulnerable communication. That's just an example, but this is kind of like, these are some of the themes that we're seeing. So whatever, and you know, this is a collective reading, so take it as it resonates, but whatever their bad habits are in relationships, they're really looking at that. I want to clarify the Five of Wands a little bit. Yeah, the King of Pentacles in reverse, because this could have been like inherited patterns from a father figure. It's keeping them from their stability. The Devil is at the bottom. Lots of earth energy, so Capricorn showing up particularly strong. This person could have a Capricorn parent, and that kind of like has played a role here. Especially where, you know, there's a thin line between that kind of Saturn energy of Capricorn, you know, wanting to encourage us and kind of push us a little bit to be our best selves and to overcome our limitations to do what we need to do. There's a thin line between that and somebody who's just shaming you unnecessarily or being verbally abusive. And so this person may have dealt with that in childhood. Like there's a thin line between like, nope, okay, you know what, you did this thing like this, but you can actually do it like this. So why don't we go do it again? There's a big difference between that. Or like, I need you to go back and try again, versus like, how could you do this? That's so stupid. Like, this not, you know, it's being super dismissive, or like, it's not even worth my time. Like, call me back when you actually have this right? There's kind of like that energy. This person, They could have had a parent who was almost acting more like a boss, and a dickhead at that. But like they could have had a parent who's almost like acting more like a boss. And there's a sense here where this is where I feel the root of the shame might be coming from. But they're recognizing that their back and forth, their hot and cold behavior, however this manifests for them, that this is what's kept them from being a stable person, a grounded person, from being able to actually like, show up consistently, to be giving, to be like loving, to be creating something that's stable they want for themselves. Because again, especially if they didn't have the sense of stability, or they didn't have the guidance that they needed, right? I always think about the King of Pentacles as kind of like a very like nurturing mentor. If they didn't have that, they want to be able to provide that. They want to be able to create that in their own life, because they understand how important it is. And there, I do want to say as well, we talked about with the Knight of Cups in reverse, we talked about potential like mental health concerns or issues with like substance use disorders or drinking problems. The Devil's at the bottom. This person may have developed some unhealthy habits for coping, that they're trying to address, because there's the recognition that it is holding them back from the stability they seek, both at a material level, but just like also, at an emotional level. And so they might have been aware of that, or they may have been trying to treat the problem at a material level, and now they're understanding that it has an emotional component, and they're being kind of forced to look at that. This person's been growing quite a lot. So I want to clarify intimacy. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, I can already see where this is going. The Tower in reverse. So many major arcana. And Justice. Okay, baby. 5 of Pentacles. I feel like this is about you. This is about you. All of this is making them think about how they didn't show up before. We had 3 major arcana. This is a big deal. They feel like you were destined to be in their life. They might still feel like that. I feel like they do. I feel like this person feels like you may have been one of their first like truly like soul-based connections. This person may have just solely been looking at you as like a long-term partner potential before, at a very grounded 3D kind of level, and been looking at the relationship like that, but they were not awake to the spiritual component. That has changed. That has changed. You have changed so much for them with the Tower in reverse. This connection has made them rethink their entire lives. And I feel like with the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom, you could have highlighted for them some self-worth wounds, but they also are not comfortable. It's not sitting well with them where they left things. Like it feels like they left you in the lurch, right? There was a lack of justice, a lack of fairness, and this person knows it. What is this Tower in reverse about? What's this one? The 7 of Cups. Yeah, and the 8 of Cups. I was just thinking about this. Okay. So, and the 2 of Cups is reversed at the bottom. This person may have had issues with commitment. And it doesn't just have to be that there's like another person in the mix. This can be, 7 of Cups is options. It's kind of that elusive, dreamy Knight of Cups, like, not grounded energy. Knight of Cups in reverse, excuse me. You may have, I'm so sorry. This person may have really struggled with commitment. This person may have been doing things that took them outside of their integrity. They stepped outside their integrity in this situation. And you may have called them out on this. I say that because of the 2 of Cups reversed at the bottom. You may have called them out on this and been like, you need to make a choice, or, like, what's it going to be? Like again, that natural point in a relationship that either requires greater investment or a separation. And they may have picked a separation, whether they actively picked it or they put you in the position to have to put up a boundary and walk away. And that's what I'm seeing here with the 7 and 8 of Cups, to clarify the Tower reversed. They may have acted completely nonchalant about the separation. And at first it might not have really bothered them. But again, there's a sense here where in the time that you've been separated, it is come to like, I'm getting it is gnawed at them. Like it really bothers them a lot. Their own behavior is starting to bother them. When it did start initially like irritating them, they may have been mad at you. They may have kind of tried to write it off because, again, they feared deeper self-reflection, lest they risk uncovering more shame wounds. They may have kind of tried to write it off. And they're not doing that anymore. They may have, I'm going to be for real with you guys, they may have dated somebody after you. maybe even like a couple of short little, like short-term, you know, flings. They went on a handful of dates. There's something here where they've had exposure, I feel like, to possibly to someone else after you, whether it's their own dating life or maybe like getting back in contact with an ex. There's something here where it's forced them to look at themselves, because it's kind of like, oh, if I'm, you know, assuming like you're the problem, but then you're out of the equation and I'm in a new, you know, I'm seeing somebody new and I'm still having the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same patterns. That's not your fault at all, is it? Because I think you made them aware. You made them aware. And so they thought that that awareness was somehow like tied to you and makes it your fault. And that's just not the case. I go on about this forever. But the more concise version is that I think you made this person, you know, all these clarifying the tower in reverse, you made this person change how they were handling making decisions, making emotional decisions. This person had to get clear with the fact that they don't know how they feel about things. They don't know what they need emotionally. That's what's triggered a lot of this growth. And this may have been triggered by you walking away or even them walking away. Like I said, for some, this person, they recognized at the time that they weren't being fair to you, but they didn't really know how to fix it. So they just walked off and they kind of assumed like, all right, you know, this is for the best. This is the only fair course of action. And they may have thought that like, all right, you know, it'll suck for a little bit, but I'll get back on my feet, you know, when I'm ready, I'll get back out there. Like I said, if they've gone on dates, it's not the same, and they know it's not the same because there's a spiritual component here. So this is what they're sitting with now with the Wheel of Fortune. They understand that you were a gift to them. They also understand that this was divine, this was fated. You can't fuck with that. It's kind of what I'm getting, like there's no use in kind of kicking and screaming against the flow of the universe. And they're thinking a lot about, with justice, they're thinking a lot about how they've treated you and how to be better. They could be thinking a lot about marriage. I will say that. What is this justice here? The Ten of Swords reversed. They thought about what they did. This person has hurt you. This person's also thinking about how they've been hurt and they've been kind of projecting from that space. The Three of Cups, there could have been a third party. I don't love saying that automatically for the Three of Cups. Again, there could be an issue with just partying in general, choosing their friends over you. This can indicate like too much drinking, too many issues with like substances. This person was all about having fun in order to avoid their own pain and thus caused pain. And they're thinking a lot about that. Sorry, my nose is itchy. My little nose ring makes me itchy. I want to cut the deck. Yeah, the Ace of Cups reversed. Some of them are wondering if you would even accept an apology. The Knight of Wands reversed. Yeah, this person, I feel, this person has had to, like, this person may have just been very, you know, all the Knights have come up reversed so far. The only one is the Knight of Pentacles, who has not shown up. And that's the only one who's like consistent and kind of a little more stable. This person has recognized that like their behavior was impulsive. Their behavior was very like pleasure seeking, whether again it's, you know, other people or, you know, some of them just like to go travel. They like to just take off for a long time and they don't tell you. And it's like, you can't really do that without talking to your partner if you're in a committed relationship. Some of them, you know, like I said, this is like a partying thing, you know, a potential like alcohol problem or substance use problem. And there's a sense here of, I think in their mind, when they detached, they thought they were being fair. It's kind of like, well, you know, I want to be engaging in this lifestyle, whatever it is. Like, I want to be doing that. Yeah, the Page of Cups reversed. And between them is the Two of Swords reversed. I feel like that in their head, the choice was like doing what I want, engaging in this lifestyle that I want, versus having to grow emotionally, possibly like deal with some complicated emotions. And they were like, no, I don't want that. So in their head, it was kind of like, well, this is what I want to be doing. This is what I want to be pursuing. That's not what you want. So I'm going to just like leave this where it is. And that was kind of what they were thinking about the whole thing. I want to know what they're thinking about you right now, though, because I'm nosy. And then we'll pull some messages to close this out. Yes. Did you want to flip that? No, but it is this one. Interesting. So their thoughts could be all over the place. The Ace of Cups reversed. Again, there's a sense here of they don't even know if you'd accept their apology. Two of Swords in reverse. They know how they feel about you. They know what they think about you. They might be preparing to communicate this, but they're not confused anymore. Ooh, the Devil. Okay. Capricorn energy here, and the Three of Swords. I think this person, again, you have to remember, this person shames themselves heavily. Even if they are becoming aware of that pattern, it still exists. This person shames themselves very heavily. This person can't stop thinking about the fact that their choices caused you pain. They are like obsessed with thinking about this. They might be kind of like self-flagellating a lot. They're having trouble forgiving themselves. This might be why they're issuing an apology to the universe, because it's like, I feel so bad about this. At like, they might have like actual problems with like they can't sleep. For some, whatever this is, this like vice, this like bad habit, this bad pattern, addiction, they're trying to give it up. They're trying, and it's like making it all that much worse. And there's something here where I almost feel like they are kind of sitting there in this. So like, let's say they had like a drinking problem, and this, you confronted them about this, and they chose to like stay with more of a party lifestyle than work on that issue and the relationship. This is almost where it's like they are, they might have given it up now, and it's not only dealing with the stress and the difficulty of like going sober, but it's also having to really sit with the raw emotions about what happened. I feel like it's almost like they're fully processing the separation and the loss of you, and they almost feel like they deserve that. I don't know why I'm getting it makes it more real to them. That's interesting. Again, a lot of them think that you might think of them as the devil, like kind of a thing. You might think of them as nothing but toxic, nothing but bad news. This person is very heavily like hurting themselves emotionally. It feels like they took away one way of hurting themselves, and they're doubling down on like shaming and criticizing themselves very heavily. The Seven of Swords, they're still self-sabotaging. Their feelings for you are a secret as well. The King of Wands in reverse. What they're trying to deal with is the fact that they don't feel very confident. They don't feel like they have things to offer you. Again, it's like that level of, even if they cut out something with the Devil, they're still self-sabotaging in such a way where they're like making themselves small, right? So instead of being able to look at this and be like, wow, okay, I did all of this and this is why, like, okay, I'm going to heal that. I'm going to work on that. I can do things differently, right? It's like the only way that they can really self-reflect is to put themselves in the role of being a bad person, not a good person who has done a bad thing or struggling to release a bad pattern. They have to be a bad person. So this is what they're working out right now, and it's coloring their perception of you. The Six of Cups. Yeah, they are very, very fond of you. The Two of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. I think part of why they are beating themselves up so heavily about what happened is because they still love you. They know that there's like a past life connection here. There's a soul connection. They are awfully fond of you. Some of them might want to give you flowers. They really want to give you flowers. They just want to, some of them might be planning something like kind of ridiculous in the grand scheme of things, like based on where you guys might be in 3D. Like they want to like send you flowers and like watch you receive them and open them, but maybe like be anonymous. I don't know what this is. This person's a funny little duck. There's something here where they want to, some of them might want to give you flowers, but they're picking out the exact right flowers. Because I just noticed for the first time, I've had this deck for a while, that all the flowers in the different like cups are different. It's like they want to pick out the exact right ones. There's like a hidden meaning in it. This person might like do little gestures that have significance in order to like communicate extra information. But they want to be able to like watch you receive that. I don't know, it's really sweet. But in terms of like, you know, I think this person's going so hard on beating themselves up because this person does still love you, and there is still hope. There is still hope that you'll figure it out someday. I have that, there's a card in my little message deck that says, I'll laugh if it comes out, where it's, you know, I still have indestructible hope, we'll figure it out someday. This person's planning. That's the thing. They're planning on making it up to you. I think that's why they're going so hard on this right now. And some of them, like I said, they're letting go of a vice, and they're going through just a shitload of pain as a result. But they're doing it, and they're going so hard because they want another shot. They feel like they need that. They have to have another chance with you. And some of them are very, very fearful you won't give them one. So they kind of oscillate back and forth between panicking that you won't give them another chance, and then like trying to kind of like convince themselves that you will, and planning for that. But this person feels very sweet on you. This person thinks you're very sweet. This person thinks that you deserve a lot, both because they feel like they owe you a lot, but also just in general. This person thinks you have a bright future. You could do anything. You could be anywhere. This person would not be upset if you decided to reject them for your own future. So if it was like, I want to go here, I want to be able to have this kind of job, or, I want to be able to do this, so I can't take your offer for a relationship, that would be fine. They'd be sad about it, but they'd learn to deal with that. But if they lost you solely due to their own behavior, they would, I don't think they'd be able to cope very well. I don't think they would be able to receive that. So I want to pull you guys some messages. I'll leave these 6 out because I feel like I should. But I want to pull you guys some message cards to kind of close this out here and get a good idea from this person's higher self what messages they'd like to give. Nope. It's this one. Okay. Also this one. Looking for one more, please. Oh, thanks, Spirit. Love that. At the bottom is, I know and validate your desire to understand why. Trust in the sacred magic of timing. Yeah, this doesn't feel done. I'm going to be honest. What's at the top? You are one of my greatest spiritual teachers. Yes. So, the 3 that you got. You brought joy and healing into my life. Your warmth permeates my energy. So we have a lot of blue and green. You really especially activated them at the heart and throat chakra. So the nexus of those two is being able to authentically know and express your heart-centered truth. I was picking up almost like a lot of like gunk in their throat chakra. Not like literally, but like spiritually and energetically. It's like, imagine it's like some pretty caked on, cemented in there, like old damaging energy. And there's something about, especially the way you speak, if you like to sing, there's something about the vibration that you offer that like has loosened that gunk, so to speak. That's kind of the image that they're showing me. You were always my shooting star. Okay, so you're a wish come true for this person. This kind of makes me think of the star, the 9 of Cups kind of energy. They may have wished for you and then you kind of appeared in their life. This person feels cosmically lucky when they see you. So they're very, very fond of you, exceedingly so. I was a lucky person the day I met you. I want to clarify that one. So this person feels lucky to know you. Again, it's like, we have this energy of a shooting star, a wish, luck. There's just like, they feel like the universe brought you to them in a very loving, lucky way. The Magician, like I said, they manifested you. They feel like, so I was talking about with you, or is my shooting star, like, oh, I made a wish and then you showed up. This person may have like said that you're their dream come true or their wish or like perfect or something. In the past, they may have said that. They may have kind of expressed like, I was just thinking about how I would love, to meet somebody who's like, who does X, Y, and Z, or who's like this, and then you show up in my life, and it was like kismet. The 5 of Cups reverse, you really helped them like heal. I'm hearing open up grief channels, but heal a lot of grief. And the 9 of Wands, because they've been through quite a lot. They feel like they were like like hanging by a thread. They were on really their last legs. For some, I know this is a little bit triggering for some, this person was very, very close to not wanting to be here anymore. and possibly either actively doing something about it or engaging in risky behavior and kind of being like, whatever happens, happens. This person was all done with living. And you change that. You help remind them that there are good things. This person may have had a very damaged crown chakra as well. You help to remind them that the universe is looking out for them. That connections are meant to be a gift from the divine, not another way to be tortured. This person feels like you kind of saved them at the 11th hour. Was that 5 of Cups? Yeah. Strength, the Tower reverse, and Justice. You made them turn some aspect around here with the Tower in reverse and dig deep and find their resiliency, right? Their perseverance at an emotional level with Strength and the 9 of Wands. This person felt pummeled by life, like everything was just like so cosmically stacked against them that nothing would ever be fair again. And then the relationship that you shared with this person made them feel a lot closer to balance. Like, okay, the universe does care. I do matter. So you've done a lot for this person. So that's where they're at. This ended up being a longer reading than I anticipated, but I do think there's some good work happening here. Yeah, if you like this reading and this style and you'd like something like this for yourself and your own connection, you can check out my shop for different options or DM me. But yeah, this is good. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy I got to share the messages with you today. And I'm wishing you a happy, healthy rest of your day, okay? Take care, friends. Bye.